So today, I'm going to be complaining about my personal first world problems. With sarcasm out the way, I've been collecting games for almost 6 years now, and as a collector, I hate nothing more than having a greatest hits copy of a game. It's just the worst. And today I'm going to explain why I just cannot stand them. Alright, the PS1's greatest hits aren't that bad because the PS1 spines don't really have a label or consistency to it when they're on the shelf. They just kind of put whatever they feel like putting on the spines. So anyways, they just changed the color of the label on the cover from black to green. Why they landed on green? I have no clue. They chose a random color probably. And the spines have greatest hits labels on them, but since there are no labels on the PS1 spines, it doesn't really matter or bother me that much either. Now the PSP on the other hand is pretty bad with their greatest hits, changing the label on the spine and the cover from black to red. Which the cover, changing that, I don't really care. But the spines, however, I do care. The red label just looks awkward and stupid when you put the game on the shelf. It just sticks out like a sore thumb. And all you see is the spine when they're on the shelf, which makes it stand out in a bad way. Not in a good way, a bad way. Now for the PS4, instead of changing the label color, they changed the case color. Well, I don't know which one's even worse, changing the label color or changing the case color, because they're going to stand out either way on the shelf. Like you're just looking through your PS4 selection, looking at the nice consistency with the spines on the shelf, and then boom! Greatest hits, and then back to consistency. Like why? Why change the color of the case in the first place? Why not change something on the cover so it won't stand out? And the worst part about this is when games that have interior art like God of War, for example, have a greatest hits copy, when you open it, you can barely see it because it's red. So why change the color in the first damn place? Now I gotta swap cases around just so I can see the interior art. This could have all been prevented if you just used a standard blue case and just changed something on the cover. Now you may be wondering why I skipped the PS2 and the PS3. For PS2, I just don't have one. But for PS3, I saved the worst for last. And now I didn't like how they changed the label color for the PSP. And I sure as hell didn't like how they changed the case color for the PS4. So what did they do with the PS3? They did both! So it stands out even more! And the red cases are even worse on the PS3, because with the PS4, if a game had interior art, you can at least barely see it. But if you have a PS3 case, they're not even transparent. So with games like Drake's Fortune, you would have to take the whole ass paper out just to see it. Like, jeez, why have you given interior art if you can't fucking see it? Now moving on to the Xbox, specifically the Xbox 360, their greatest hits, or should I say platinum hits, are even worse than the PS3's. Oh yeah, they get worse. Not only did they change the label color to some ugly grayish white color, they made the label longer, almost double in length for no reason, just because they felt like it. This is so bad it makes the PS3's greatest hits look perfect in every way. Like what drugs were they on when designing this crap? And I couldn't even find a copy of Skate 3 that wasn't platinum hits because trust me, I would have done everything in my power to stay away from it if possible. In fact, I try my best to stay away from platinum hits because they're that bad. Like Xbox 360's platinum hits are all so bad that I almost would rather have a GameStop case for my game instead of platinum hits. Almost though, because GameStop's cases are pretty bad compared to platinum hits for Xbox 360. Now moving on to the GameCube, similar to the PSP, they just changed the label color, this time to yellow, and they also called it Player's Choice. Now, there's not much I can say about the GameCube that I didn't already say about the PSP. I mean, same deal here with the PSP. It stands out, and I'll prefer it to be black like the other labels, but oh well. Now, when Nintendo did the Wii, they got rid of Player's Choice, and they did something called Nintendo Selects. And this is how you do a greatest hits copy. You put it on the cover, and you don't mess with the label on the spine. And sure, it sucks that the cover art was shrunk a bit, but it's still 10 times better than them fucking up the spine. And the consistency stays whether you have greatest hits or not. And the Wii was from the same generation as PS3, Xbox 360, both of which have the worst greatest hits we have seen so far. Why couldn't they take notes? Nintendo will also do Nintendo Selects with the Wii U and 3DS as well before they eventually just stop doing it with the Switch. So there you have it. All greatest hits I have. Greatest hits is just a shit stain in anyone's game collection. And which one's the worst, you ask? I would definitely have to go with the Xbox 360's platinum hits. Like, what the hell were they thinking with that shit? As of now, the PS5 doesn't have any greatest hits copies. Thank God, because clearly PlayStation doesn't know what they're doing when making greatest hits given their track record. And like I said earlier, the Switch just doesn't do them at all. So nowadays, you don't really see greatest hits anymore, which is probably for the best given the fact that I've been complaining about greatest hits the entire time during this video. Also, this is my first video of 2026, and what, 21 days in the new year? So yeah, it's been a while. Sorry about that. Anyways, I'm going to try to post the next episode for the Elden Ring playthrough soon, and thanks for watching.